We shall now proceed to our next paper this evening, which is entitled English Language Teaching and Education Trends in Thailand, How to Bridge the Gap Between Fast Learners and Slow Learners, which will be presented by Dr. Meechoke Thongsawai, the Director of Sea Education Public Limited Thailand. Please welcome.
Good evening. How are you doing? Are you sure you're fine?
Yes.
Are you English teachers?
Yes.
Are you librarians? Anyway, you are in the educational world. I always have chance to talk in this way. All the teachers and the one who lost into the educational industry, rarely you have chance to left from this industry. Many events I keep asking about that. How long do you service or you are in this industry? So how many of you be in this industry more than 15 years? How about the rest? More than 5 years? Yes or no? Then until you end up with at least 60 years old, I'm sure. In Thailand, when I have chance to talk to the teachers, they always saying that they service for their lifetime and they never change the job. Even the job to be the teacher is very tough for them, right? And most of the teachers, especially English teachers, I'm saying that you are the superstar because you like an actor. When you go into the classroom, you what? You be a teacher, smiling, or some of you do not smile. Very seriously, when you finish your class, go home, you're gonna be housewife. You treat everything in your home. That is what happened in my country. Therefore, I just would like to share with you today. This is the ranking that I got the information from EF, which is the private language school, chain school. You see here, I'm sorry. It's not, but it is Malaysia ranking number 9 from their research. It is the index of English proficiency, means that your kids able to use English pretty well, comparing to Thailand, where we are in the ranking number 42. Therefore, we are aware how can we solve this kind of problem, right? Last year, 31st of December, all over Asia, Southeast Asia, right? They said AEC. Therefore, we opened the borders. Actually, myself, I just think that we opened for a long time for the border. We across the border. But now we're talking about the economics among us, among the countries. Usually what do we use the language or what language do we use to communicate each other? During the country, Bahasa, because Indonesia they have like few 100 million. Malaysia you can communicate in Bahasa. South of Thailand we can communicate in Bahasa. But the research is the most people language using in the world is English. Therefore, we cannot walk away or run away from English. In Thailand, we have what we call the direction of English language development, and we create the model. Thai language we call Pracharat. Pracharat means corporate sector means company, they have money. Then social sector, they have the volunteer, they have their mind to support the social, and the government. Therefore, these three parties, they join together. Then we would like to what? To support the school to reform their quality. Language is just only one of the dimension that we moving forward. But we also talking about the leadership, the management, school environment, physical. That is the overall picture. Therefore, we say that education reform for sustainable and strong economy and society in the timing and under circumstance that we have the limited of resources. Means that the best thing, like I think Ms. Ong talking about learning English language, the best way is spend your budget, have money, and buy the ticket, fly to London for 6 months. Yes, I would like to do so. Unfortunately, we cannot do in that way because majority of the populations, they still need the local service, which we have to help ourselves. How to make and develop Thai students to be able to communicate English. I don't know that in Malaysia you face the same situation or not, but I heard that this period is your exam period for national test, right? When the student test, they test for what? Scoring. They need to get the high score. For what? Going to further education, going to entrance to go to the good universities. As same as Thailand, we got the same issues. Then when we talk to the government, we are saying that if you would like the kid or student able to speak English, you have to change what? Change KPI, change the exam paper. Because now the exam paper, we grade them how to use grammar. We grade them the score by that way. We do not grade them by communicative approach. This is the basic problems. In Thailand, we focus grammar because we have to prepare the kids to go to take an exam. Then we do GT approach for long time. Grammar translation. English, we use Thai teacher majority. Thai teacher teach English. Then when we are in the English classroom, what happens? Thai teacher will teach English in Thai. Right? We do translation to the kid. Then how the brain work? They have to double load, right? From Thai change to English, English change. Do like this. Then we have the phonics problem because actually we do not train. And majority of the teachers, we are not ready to teach phonics. Even we have a good materials from foreign countries. But the one who deploy and using them is local teachers. We have rare opportunities, means when we living in the country, we have no chance to use languages. When I go home, I speak Thai. When I go out of this hall, I still need to speak English with my colleagues, with my friends, because of what? The context. Because I am in their environment that I have to communicate in English. But back to my hometown, 99% I'm speak Thai. I believe that your kids as well, 90% what is the language that they are using. But we are forcing them to be able to communicate in English. We are forcing them to be able to be very, very good in English. When I was young, I studied English. I taught the other day before. When I go to the classroom and I have to take an exam, I have to remember the simple sentence, right? Where is the subject? I put the word S over subject, the sentence, right? Where is the verb? Then I put free. And where is the object? I put OBJ. Then this is the component of simple structure of sentence, right? I put S plus V plus OBJ, subject, verb, and objects. Then if I have to take a test for reading comprehension, I need to find out where is the preposition, where is the verb adjectives, because that is explain the meanings of the sentence. Then at the end, what do I learn? Mathematics or English? Because I learned English as the formula. This is the things that happen. Then lastly, we're talking about do not enjoy learning English. When you be the teacher in the classroom, are you enjoy teaching English? You have to ask yourself. Many times, students will take you as the role model. My notice in my country, I do not mention Malaysia. Most of the English teachers, they are outstanding in terms of what? Fashionable. The dressing will be very outstanding than the others. The makeup, very good. That is what I noticed. And as a student, you take a look. Oh, my English teacher is very beautiful, look very nice, fashionable. But talking about Thai language, most of the teacher is very like, oh, come from which age? Dinosaur or what? That is the things that happen to my country. Therefore, the motivation for myself is not come from the language by themselves. They come from you as the teachers to be role model, to motivate your student to learn. Then for the language, they have to have their goal, right? Learning English for what? If they don't have the motivation, how can they willing to learn the language? Therefore, the goal is empower Thai students to be excellent in English. We set up the goal. The goal, every goal, we have to have benchmarking, right? We have to test them with the standard that we set up. Business term we call KPI. Key Performance Indicator, Key Performance Index. For the languages, our country just decided recently that we will follow CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference. Therefore, we are focusing in communication. Because at the end, if we learn languages, we cannot use. It's nothing, right? I think that from the Western world, TOEFL testing, Thailand we used to do very good score. Later we lost to China. And we heard that who get the best score of TOEFL come from Asia. But end of the day, the US universities complain that your student who got very good score, but they cannot lecture. They cannot speak and present in the classroom because they remember all the questions to take a test to get the score and enter into the universities. Therefore, we would not be like that again. Our government saying that CEFR, who familiar with CEFR or have no idea about CEFR? CEFR actually they form from European countries. If you imagine European country, they have several languages, right? German, they use German, Netherlands, French, English. They have several languages using. One day, they merge together one European community. Therefore, they have the move of the laborers, the move of the student. Then they need to have the standardized of their English on. I have to say that of the language ability. Then, if I study in Germany and I would like to move to study in UK, the school would like to know the standard of the languages, right? That is the things that build up. Or else, if you be the labor work, you would like to move yourself from country to country. How is your ability? That is what do they come from. Therefore, CEFR will level up on your ability to communicate by using those languages. Means that CEFR not just only English but several languages. Then we're talking about how can we move GT to CLT. I have the question. The day before we're talking about 21st century skill, right? Do you familiar with this term, right? Most of the teachers, we were born in 20th century, right? We born in 20th century, and we have to drive our kids to be 21st century skill. What kind of skill do we have? Do we better digital skill than them? The answer is no, no way, right? Then we're gonna change the role of the teachers from chalk and talk. I mean lecture, talk, to be what? Facilitator. That is what we mean by. And then we just encourage local teachers. I have to say sorry that for our educational budget, we don't have money or budget enough to employ foreign teachers from native country to teach our kids. Therefore, the main target is we need to serve ourselves to drive the teachers who we have the limited resources to be able to teach our kids can communicate English. This is the standard that I mentioned. When we're talking about CEFR, the Ministry of Education also announced that primary 6 or about grade 6, 12 years old, they should have at least A1 level. You can Google or search CEFR, they have a lot of information. Then grade 9, you should have A2. See this slide? This is the level of the CEFR comparing to other tests. Because the tests in the world, they are able to align, right? Correlation. Then you can see that we need fluency level to be able to communicate English in B2 levels. Then they have the description or descriptor to explain how. The question is, if we would like to move our kid or our student to be further, how about the teachers? If you would like to be the teacher who drive the kid to be able to, have English in A1 level, in theory, at least, the teacher should have A2. Then what happened? Our country, I think Malaysia do it before. Last year, we do the test for English teachers, 42,000 teachers across the board. We're using online testing to skill. And we found that, off record, majority of the teacher is A1 and A2. Majority of 42,000. So that is the problem that we have to solve. Because we need the teachers at least B2 levels to teach English in K-12 and at least C1 level to be the professor or lecturer in the universities. That is the standard that we have to jump to. Then, traditional. This is a classroom in Thailand in general from state school. This one, international school. But in Thailand, we have less than 150 international schools in the country that we have this kind of environment. In general, in Thailand, we have 35 or 36,000 schools throughout the country. We have kids in the system, 10 million kids in the system. That is how the things that we are cope up with. Then we also have the same principle that seek for more opportunities to practice the language. How to practice, how often, how can. We thought that firstly we're talking about listen, read and say. Then the benchmarking is we are using Cambridge starter, mover, flyer as the benchmarking. Then for primary level, they need to have the vocabulary at least 800 words. To grade 9, they should have at least 3,000 words. From the research saying that if we know English vocabulary at least 3,000 words, we will be able to speak and communicate in English fluently. We will be able to read the journal and English book to understand those content at least 80%. That is from the research. Therefore, we focus and we have the goals of learning to set up for them. Secondly, after we set up the goals, always be the teachers. The question is how? What is the tools? As the consultant, we also provide them the solution. We mentioned about flashcard. Can we use flashcard? I mean, it's like the one every day in the classroom to increase the frequency use. Can we use another application? This is the flashcard that I mentioned. As a teachers, you can create yourself vocabularies. This one, mobile phone, we have the flashcard to have some activities in the classroom, right? To enhance them, to remember the word. And in 21st century, you start with the term critical thinking. How can you drive your kid to be able to think? Problem solving, critical thinking. Then at the back of the vocabularies, we provide the questions. Because the teacher is so busy, they have no time to prepare. Then we prepare the questions for them to question the student. That is what we do. Secondly, read the most frequent used word. How? How can we create the environment to let them read the books? Then we just talking about the graded leaders or extensive reading. I wish in Malaysia you also, I think you have the similar things. How can we learn if we don't know vocabulary? How can we access into the new knowledge if we do not read? Right? But how can we create the habit for our kids to allow them to love to read? Firstly, if you throw the books to them and too difficult, I mean the word, the sentence, they do not understand, they will be very boring, right? But if we are able to let them freedom choosing what they like to read, then we just carefully select the titles for them. In Thailand, we call graded leaders. I mean, in global, we call graded leaders. Because each title, they have the limit of headword or word count. If you have the level a bit low, you might start from the beginning. The headword is not more than 150, like that. And is that possible to allow your student freedom, choice the titles that they like to read. I say in this way because in Thailand, when I was younger than this, in the classroom of English, I have to read Robinson Crusoe. I have to read Tom Sawyer. And then everybody in the classroom have to read the same titles. I don't know if that happened in your country or not. After reading that the subject, you have to take a test. What do they do in the classroom? I have to stand up and read one passage. My friends stand up, read the another passage. After a while, they do translation and take a quiz. I just motivate this way that forget it. Is that possible to motivate your student or your kid read any title at home? We just introduction a bit in the classroom, then motivate them. When they go home, read and submit you the journal, only one page of paper. Brief, what do they read? What do they like? What is the character talking about? What is your story about? Then randomly ask them to present just only one or two kids to motivate them, not punishment. Just this, how can we create the habit? And we have the title like this, means that the body of text is English. The side of the paper, we do translation for them. And the translation, dictionary nouns, when you got one word, they have many meaning, right? How can we select which meaning is good for this story? Then we adapt the books for them. The translation is up on the context. Therefore, when they read the book, they have no need to go to Google Dictionary. They can read throughout the titles. That's what we do. And we have the project. We test. We do the white paper, experiment. If we do in this process, what is the outcome? And we find that the outcome is really good. Not just only English is improved, but the habit of love read is improved too. In Thailand it's similar. When we launch any project, we have to do what? Teacher training, and training. And some statement is who train teacher, kid. Because when you are training, you have to leave from your home. And this is the things that we do, how we arrange the classroom library. We motivate. At the back in your classroom, can you arrange the environment to allow your kid to access into the titles that they love to read, and then create some activities. And we are not ashamed to say in this way that many of the titles that you just see or just saw the cover, we bought the right from foreign publishers. Because we realize that some of the books, we still need them to support. And this one, we also bought the right from Bookworm, Oxford University Press, because they have the graded leaders. That's it. Then, we thought that in the classroom, in Thailand now, we have only 2 periods per week to study English. It's no way they can speak English. It's not enough. How can they practice? Therefore, we offer what? Graded leaders. Then they can go home, do themselves at home. And we mentioned about the movie. In this room, who do not speak English, who are not able to speak English, are your English well? I mean, your English proficiency is good or not? Who justify? I don't know. But yes, we expect that you are good in English. When somebody keep asking you why your English is so good, what is the answer? Why your English is very good? Why can't you speak English? Do they answer? Do you answer? Oh, because of my teacher. My teacher is really good. Is that the answer? Ow, what happened? Same to me. Why can't I speak English? Because I would like to get big salary. I have motivation. Because I love to listen to the music in English. Because I love to watch the movies soundtrack in English. No one saying that the teacher is very good. But if they fail in English subject, what happened? Teacher is lousy, terrible. Their teaching is very bad. That is the situation. Therefore, I think that my own opinion, teacher is the role model to motivate them. Teacher is the facilitator to give them the guideline how to learn. Teacher is the one who proposes them the method. Then they need to have the language goal. They need to have their own dream. They need to have their own motivation. And we just thinking that when we talking about textbooks, when we talk CFR, say that this is the new approach. When we talking about new approach, first thing first, what do we need to change? To change should we change the teachers? Can we change the teachers? Because we change the approach. The old teacher can teach or cannot teach, we don't know. But our situation, we cannot change the teachers. But we have to consider the materials that follow what we would like to have at the end or not. Therefore, we propose them. Every textbook, you have to frame up on CEFR. Every materials or digital materials have to support communicative. Therefore, they have to have audio part, they have to have speaking part. That is the things that we frame for them. Then, the speak opportunities to practice English. I think this is the situation that we have to do. And to improve the languages, we do believe that we have to start as early as we can. Therefore, we should start from kindergarten. The context of the family is very important. In Thailand, when we divide the country, the north and the south, the second language that they need is not English. They need Thai languages because in the north, they have a lot of Hill tribe which they have their own dialect. They need to learn Thai. In the south, they have Malayu, Bahasa at their home. They need to learn Thai as the second language. Therefore, English is more challenged because it's not priority for them. What is the learning goal? Then, in the yellow color, tries to be competitive because we believe that if we are growing up, the environment, Malaysia speak English, Singapore speak English, others speak English, how can we communicate with them? Then we need to have the English as well. This is one of the last thing that we do talk today. But they have many kind of materials that we are able to use. Are you a teachers? Do you familiar with this term? Brain based. Do you familiar? Brain based. Yes or no? Do you familiar with boom text? Yes or no? Deliberate practice. I give this frame because the things that I'm talking about is the research and development learning process to help and support the kid to be better in terms of the performance by using English as the content. Therefore, what happened? To make the kid or even ourselves to be performance better or higher, we're just talking about brain-based. Brain-based is the sensory, right? Everybody got the different things. Some of you might love to read, to understand the things. Some of you might be quite lazy to read, would like to listen only. That is the sensory. Therefore, we need to train our sensory. Then room text, we're talking about critical thinking, we're talking about everything, talking about creativity, high level, low level of thinking order. Then we need to start from the remember to develop to be knowledge. If you have nothing in your head, what happened with the languages? Then this is the system that input basic of the vocabularies, and then we produce more things. Deliberate practice is very interesting. Do you have a chance to watch the Olympic Games, right? How many times, every 4 years they have Olympic once. During 4 years, what happened to the sport guys? They have to train themselves. I used to imagine, if we take a look at the runner, 100 meters, how many seconds do they judge that you are winner or loser? Less than 10 seconds, right? But you practice for at least 4 years. Therefore, before you're going to be expert, you have practice. But the dangerous, or we have to cautious about practice one thing. If we practice the wrong things, we're gonna feel that that thing is gonna be the right thing in the future. Do you believe me? Some of the words that I cannot pronounce here, I still cannot pronounce because I practice in the wrong way since I was young. And in Thailand, we do the research by using LPC system. What we do is we try to bridge the gap between learning capacity of the slow learner and fast learner. Because in the classroom, they mix. We cannot say that everybody get the same things. Then we have to support them. Secondly, we have to sure that the method is aligned with the goal that our government set, that is starter, mover, and flyer, which is aligned with the CEFR framework. And very important, Thai teachers have to be able to teach, because we cannot change the teachers, right? This is the material that we are using in terms of the research. The right hand side of myself or left hand side of you is, we start up with picture word by Ocean, Sin Card, and others. This is what we call classroom materials. For what? Firstly, we thought that Thai teachers have to be able to teach. Secondly, we have the limited resources, means budget, means that these things must not expensive. We have to cooperate that way. And the picture word that you see here is, each picture word, they have 50 vocabulary words. Means that we are cope up with Cambridge syllabus. And this is the material that we are using. And I would like to show you some classroom environment. I don't want to go into details of the products, but what we do in Thailand. Malaysia or Thailand, what do you think? This is from the south of Thailand, in one of the provinces called Narathiwat. Those areas is remote area from the town. In the classroom, firstly they don't have anything. We work with the foundation. What we do is, we donate the set, what we call classroom set. Then we set up televisions, one television in the classroom with the Android box. And this method, we have the application. When you see the kid can pronounce, they listen from the televisions with through application, and they follow. First round, listen, look, listen, and say. Therefore, the teachers just make sure that every kid open their mouth, say something. That is the theory, right? We need the focus. Let the learner focus what they learn. Therefore, the second thing that we do is when they take a look at the television at the all classroom, sometimes they lost their own focus. Then we have the materials for them to point. Then you're gonna see that the kid they point word by word and say out loud. The teacher do what? The teacher is facilitator because teacher cannot pronounce themselves. Of course, that is one of our problems. Then we learn through digital, we learn through technologies to support. At the end, teacher very confident. And teacher also get the vocabulary and able to communicate in English. That is the result that we have.
Animal, bird, cat, chicken, cow, crocodile, duck, elephant, fish, frog, giraffe, horse, hippo, horse, lizard, monkey, mice.
This is the assessment part that we ask them to do. We say that the concept is child-centered. Therefore, we have to know the kid, each of them, what is their ability, what is their problems. Then when we do the test, that kid read 50 words in the table by himself. Then the teacher will know that that kid is slow or fast or average because we have the standard. If the kid can read and finish within the certain minute, we can say that okay, good. But if they are very slow, they will not able to read, right? Then we know the problems and we try to help them. That is the way that we do in the country. To use LPC system in your school. I just wondering that why do you use this system?
We currently use LPC.
It's okay because the video is not coming, but I have the limited time and I try to keep my time as it is. Then, do you have any questions, or if you would like to know more about the things that we've done in Thailand, I really appreciate. Just drop me the email. I can share more information. And the good news is we got a lot of support from foundation and the government to run this project. The keyword is this process and this system will not be the burden of the teachers. This system will support the teachers and facilitate the teachers to manage the class efficiency. And we hope that our kids will growing better and better and able to speak English. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Meechoke, for the eye-opening presentation. To show our appreciation to Dr. Meechoke Thongsawai for his time and presentation, we would like to invite Mr. Kit Thong, the Managing Director of University Bookstore Malaysia, to present a token of appreciation to our speaker. Please welcome. Thank you, Mr. Kit, and thank you, Dr. Meechoke.